Hello and welcome to Badminton Weekly with me, Jasmine Lim. We began the show with the Kumamoto Masters, where Tom Jikel and Delphine Delroux secured a spot at the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals by reaching the quarterfinals. The French pair, however, could not make it a wonderful return to the Super 500 event, losing once more to Dechapol Provoranoukro and Supisara Puesampran on finals day. Ashwini Punapa explains why this rematch is more significant compared to their previous encounter in Kumamoto.
It's very interesting for me because this is the repeat of last year's finals, and in this finals I would say Jikel and Delroux would definitely have wanted to have won this match way more than Dechapol and Supisara, especially having lost the last year's finals to the very same pair. So they would have wanted to have had like a redo and a chance to redeem themselves in this final. But that's what amazes me about Dechapol and Supisara, having won last year's finals, having had a great year so far. To have that fire, to have that grit, and to keep getting stronger and keep getting better, that to me is like, of course, that's what made the difference today. It's not like they were satisfied with having had won it once. They definitely wanted to win it again. And I think it would give them the confidence that they needed, especially since it's the last two tournaments before they head towards the World Tour Finals. So I think on one hand we had Jikel and Delroux having to I would say they would have wanted to have redeemed themselves and win this tournament, and Dechapol and Supisara who went all in to make sure that they got their second title at the Kumamoto Finals. So very interesting mix for me. The stakes were high for both in different ways. I felt like the intensity in the rallies was like way faster, way quicker. Dechapol and Jikel were super fast. They were covering really well. There were a lot of flat exchanges. And when I watched the match, I was like, wow, the guys played really well, the girls played really well. And overall, as a match for me, I felt like both pairs played equally good. And towards the end, the last couple of points is what makes the difference, who gets those final few points. But overall, definitely a more intense match and a more high quality match for me in this finals as compared to the last year's finals.
They've done it. Provoranoukro and Puesampran win a second consecutive title here at the Kumamoto Masters, and they complete their set of titles at all four levels.
Apart from being really good at playing, it's also a lot to do with how you deal with the mental pressure of playing an event like the World Tour Finals and knowing that, okay, you got the best of pairs competing at this tournament and you want to win, and it's very prestigious to win the World Tour Finals. So it's very interesting to always see top players, top pairs who've done well all year round crumble at the World Tour Finals. So in this case, me, Dechapol and Supisara, earlier this year at the World Championships, they didn't deliver as much as what everyone expected, having had a great start to the year and being a relatively new pair and climbing up the rankings so fast with great performances. So it's interesting to see how they're going to take on the match at the World Tour Finals. I'm guessing they would also love to win this, but at the end of the day, all the pairs would love to win it, and the pair that has the best mindset at the World Tour Finals would have the advantage. That's why they're the best in the world.
Kim Won-ho and Seo Seong-jae have made history as the first men's doubles pair in 37 years to achieve 10 titles in a single season. The world number one's victory at the Kumamoto Masters tied them with China's Lee Yong-bo and Tian Bingyi, and they could rewrite history at the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. Jeff though believes the Koreans' winning formula gives them a good chance of breaking that record.
To be honest, their success hasn't surprised me that much. I called it last time when I thought they're both very complete players, especially Seo. And their playing style allows them to be so consistent tournament after tournament in their performances. And even on days when they don't seem like they're playing their best, they're unbeatable still, and they can still win those clutch matches. But being the first year that they've actually consistently played together, I've been so impressed in how many titles they've actually been able to win this year. Look, usually when there's a new combination, there's something different about them because the world hasn't seen them too much, so their opponents will find it a little bit difficult to play against them. But as the year goes on and they play more matches, the other teams can do more video analysis on their matches, they play them more, and they get to know their combination and playing style better. And with that, they form strategies on how to beat them. And that's why keeping these titles coming is harder as you progress through the year, because everyone's out there to get you and analyzing your matches. Their dominance actually reminds me of when Kevin Sanjaya Sukamojo and Marcus Fernando Gideon, they were playing at their best and they won 8 World Tour titles in 2 consecutive years in 2018 and 2019. They absolutely dominated, and Kim and Seo are reminding me of this right now. Both of them can play any position on the court, and while they're not super creative or they don't have really this artistic flair in their technique compared to, say, Kevin Sanjaya Sukamojo, their all-round game style allows them to play in any position, any formation on the court on any given day. And because they're not relying too much on that crazy flair and that really fancy stuff, there's actually less room for error in their play, and it means that their level of play doesn't fluctuate that much. So if they play really well, it's at a really high level, but even if they're not playing that well, it's their off day, they can still play at a very, very high level. I think that in badminton terms, they're basically perfect. I know that they've been stunned by a few pairs, but it is so difficult and fatiguing both mentally and physically to win all the time, week after week, when you're playing days in a row to win the title, and then sometimes you've got to go the next week and play straight away again. Especially with the caliber of men's doubles players today, I think what they're doing is very, very close to perfect. Of course, it was a little bit surprising when they lost to the Malaysians Tan and Azrin in the round of 16 at the Denmark Open. But I did note in that match that Kim was being clearly targeted in defence when the Malaysians were attacking. So if I am being really picky, I do think that in that combination, Kim is the weaker link of the pair, and sometimes he can be a little bit less consistent in his defense. Sometimes his shot quality isn't quite there, which puts Seo under more pressure. It's pretty harsh to say overall though, because and the reason why we're saying this is because Seo just is so good that he sets the level up to that high expectation, and Kim needs to try to get to that level, but Kim in himself is so good already. They also lost to the new pairing of Fikri and Alfian, the Indonesians, in the quarterfinal of the China Open. But the playing conditions there were a little bit difficult. There was so much wind and draft on court, and I think that the environment really suited the Indonesians well because they're both front court players and they can play really quick and fast. But then Seo and Kim have played the Indonesians 3 times after that loss and won all 3. So I don't think there's too much more the Koreans can do to improve. I think they're having a fantastic year.
The match between Ratchanok Intanon and Gregoria Mariska Tunjung was one of the main attractions on finals day. This was their 13th Korea meeting and their first in 2025. The last time they met was in Kumamoto the previous year, where Tunjung won the round of 16 clash comfortably. However, the Thai shuttler was determined to get a different outcome at the Super 500 event.
So I don't have any pressure for now. I feel very happy, so just do my best and give everything on court, and it will be exciting, I think.
Super shot. Oh, that is just wonderful. I told you it was one of her favourite shots.
I tried my best today, but Ratchanok controlled the game very well, and yeah, she gave it all, and she played really well. And
This time, second game point opportunity is converted. a moment of magic. Oh, she's done it again. Would you believe it? Another backhand cross-court net shot played to perfection.
I don't think that it will be end actually because I know like her momentum is coming up and my hand like already not relaxed anymore. But yeah, at least like 20 or I can cross net, something like that. That's why I feel like yeah, I still can manage to for this game. And yeah, she's still not very good. I mean like her physical, I feel like she getting a bit down. But if she have very good condition, I think she's still the one who I play really tough.
And this time she converts. A second title of the year for Ratchanok Intanon.
Yeah, I'm of course grateful with the result I got today. I'm also happy for Ratchanok. She played really well today, and yeah, she deserved the championship. Of course, it's a positive result for me to be back on the podium, and for the next, I think I take a good rest of my body and my health, so yeah, so I can perform better.
I'm happy that I can play her in the final. I feel that this week I play really good. I mean, even I still get many unerror, but I still can adapt to get back, something like that.
Nozomi Okuhara was another player who drew attention in Kumamoto. The former world #1 took out defending champion Akane Yamaguchi in the second round and nearly reached her fourth final of the year, but lost to Ratchanok Intanon in 3 games. After the match, Okuhara discusses the challenges she faced in regaining her best form.
正直言うと感覚ももちろんあるんですけれども、やっぱり足りないなというふうに感じさせてもらえた貴重な500の大会だったなというふうに思うので、まだまだ足りない部分もやっぱり積み上げていきたいなというふうに思いました。ラチャノク選手のやっぱり攻撃的なプレーに対して自分が少しディフェンスで今までは積極的に攻撃的なディフェンスで彼女の攻撃をカウンターを狙えていたんですけれども、やっぱり彼女のスピードに1ゲームの後半はついていくことができなくて、そこでのやっぱり上位大会での経験判断っていうところが私は今日はやっぱり足りなかった部分だったのかなというふうに思っています。正直ランキングというよりも自分のコンディションと向き合うオリンピックレースだったり、その後の去年が一番苦しくて、少しずつコンディションが整ってきた今年のその下位大会の挑戦っていうのは私にとってはすごく楽しくて、試合ごと少しずつ良くなっている実感があったので、苦しいというよりも今年1年は本当に毎試合毎試合楽しい充実した時間を過ごしていました。
While Okuhara is taking small steps to regain her best form, her semi-finalist opponent, Ratchanok Intanon, believes the Japanese player's slimmer appearance has made her movements quicker and contributed to her newfound success on the court.
Very skinny now, yeah.
パフォーマンスに対して減量したというわけではなくて、自然に落ちていったので、そこの体重が落ちたことはパフォーマンスとどうつながっているか、私自身は狙ってやったわけではないですね。
That's it from us. The HSBC BWF World Tour is in Sydney this week for the Sathio Group Australia Open, where Fajar Alfian and Mohammad Shohibul Fikri will be among the many players vying for a spot in the World Tour finals. You can keep tabs of their progress and your favorite stars at the Super 500 event by downloading our BWF app, Badminton for You. And as always, let us know your thoughts, comments, and questions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Have a great week, everyone!